Hello there, YouTube. This is Glenn. We're down here at the Metz farm today, and this is what we're working on. 1971 1466 International. Great tractor. Plenty of horsepower for everything that we have. A few years ago, about 3 years ago, we had a little issue regarding the draft arms. And what happened was we were using this and I went to raise the draft arms and I got nothing. They just stayed in the lowermost position. Of course, they're unhooked now, of course. Couldn't figure out, like, what in the heck is going on here? Changed hydraulic fluid, filter, looked at these things. Which, by the way, we found out later on that the draft control lever was froze up because of all that garbage in there. Or I'm sorry, that's remotes, my bad, right here. This was all froze up. That's what operates your draft control. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with that kind of crap. So we took the draft assembly off. And let me get some light over here for you guys. This is what we found. This pin right here had snapped off. Of course, that's a bolt now. It's just a 3/8 bolt. The pin, wherever, I don't know, where did we put that pin, Garrett, that broken pin?
I'm not sure. Possibly in here. Right here.
Let me see that. I'll show these guys. Look at that. That thing snapped right off. It's supposed to be up in here like that. And that stupid thing broke off and it fell down in the case. Thank God it went clear down in the bottom of the sump and did not get into anything. So anyway, rather than welding that, I just took a shoulder bolt, cut the threads off, tapered it, copper washer, drilled it, and put a cotter pin in it. There's no interference issue with that. That was the problem. It was not allowing full operation of the raise and lower for the draft. While we were in here, we checked out all of that. All that's in good condition. Nice shape. So we're getting ready to reinstall this. Hey, run out there in the sun visor of the little truck and get me that receipt. I want to show these people the part number they're going to have. So anyway, we got this thing tore down for the O-ring. And I've never had one of these apart before myself. I've seen them taken apart. This gasket, I was having a heck of a time finding that. The only place I could find it was in a kit, and you had to buy the whole assembly. And they were between like $150 and $165, and this was really all I needed, except for one other part that goes right here. As you can see, I've got my Indian head on here, and I'm only going to put that on that side, the case side, just to help hold this gasket flat. We drained the oil out of this too, checked everything, there's no problems. Ring and pinion looks really good. Drive axle bearings, I mean, for a tractor that's this old, 50 some years old, it's in great condition. So the mystery was the O-ring up here on the top left. And this is the main reason of this video, because I know some of you guys are going to be a little confused on this, and I hope this is helpful. When we tore this apart, if you notice the gasket that's on here now, this is your bypass port. This is your supply port. This is what puts hydraulic pressure up into the top plate. And all that does is operate your draft arms and your remotes. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, some of you guys chime in here, there's an MCV valve on the side down here that runs off of the hitch pump. And I believe this is what distributes pressure for your brake control, your hand pump for your steering, which is up here, and I believe the torque amplifier. So anyway, we're tearing this apart. This is a portion of the old gasket that came off of here. And if you can kind of imagine, that's how that went together. And when we disassembled this, of course, that tore. And I looked all over for this particular gasket, couldn't find it. Now, maybe you know what it is. I don't. I couldn't find this gasket by itself. It's like, what the heck is going on with that? The other thing, Garrett, you're going to have to come over here and hold this phone while I show these guys this. Thank God we have a Bain Welker dealer close to where we live at up here in Wilmington. This is a Teflon O-ring. It's not rubber, just Teflon. And it sits right in there. And if you're not careful, you'll miss that because it blends in with the case. This was in there in addition to this old gasket. You really don't need this gasket, this particular style. That style gasket will work. So while I was at Bain Welker, one of their service techs said, that's what you need, $8. And it sits right in here. And it's not really raised up above the surface of that deck very much at all. So when you put your top plate on, as you torque down your bolts, that compresses. That is what seals and separates the top deck to the top plate, which prevents hydraulic pressure from seeping back into the reservoir. And I kind of remembered we were having troubles with some hydraulic pressure from time to time. When the tractor was cold and the hydraulic oil was really heavy, everything was okay. As the day went on, say we were round bailing and you would pull back on a hydraulic remote to open up the gate on the back of the baler. It took it forever. So I tend to believe what was happening, this seal was getting bad, and as hydraulic pressure was trying to pump or come up through here into the plate, it was bypassing this, and I was losing hydraulic pressure. It wasn't much, but it was enough to kind of slow things down just a little bit. And if you look, I'll try to get this. See the new one, compare it to the old one. There's not much difference, but there is a little bit of difference in that. And I think that could make the difference between having a hydraulic issue and not having a hydraulic issue. So here's what I want to show you. Right here is the part numbers. That O-ring, 388-306-R1, ring EM08B. I hope those numbers can help you. The gasket is a 380-264-R3. Look at the price of that thing. I have $63, and that's with my farm account, in that gasket and that O-ring. Over here's the box. There might be some other numbers on here just for that gasket to help you too. Yep, there's your part number right there. And again, Bain Welker, Wilmington, Ohio. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your help. And no, Bain Welker is not sponsoring me. They're not paying for this video. I'm doing this to be thanking them because they helped me a ton on this, trying to locate these parts. So we're gonna go ahead this afternoon. It was -2 here this morning, a little bit chilly. That's why probably see my breath. It's a little cool here in the shop. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna reassemble this. Once we get this put back together, I'll make another video just to show you how everything works. And by the way, before we shut this video off, come back here, Garrett. What I wanted to show you, if you notice here, this is your draft control lever. And if you have these apart, you can look, there's probably a little bit of wear on the front, on the leading edge of that. When you go to put these back together, you want to put these in the light position, in light draft. This face goes, goes on the front side of this arm. And yep, they're loose. It doesn't go behind it, not here, but here. So when you assemble that, it'll look something like that, only not my finger, of course. But it goes right here. That's why you need to have your draft control in the light position. That arm needs to be back. If you don't, you might take a chance of breaking that, or that arm's gonna go in front of that. It needs to be behind it. That's what controls your draft. And that arm goes down there on, I don't know what they call that, the draft arm, the rock assembly, draft arms, I don't know, but, or draft rod, but anyway, that hooks down there into the bottom, and that's what helps control your draft. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I don't have a very good channel because I'm not very professional at this, but hey, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video. If you have any comments that are positive, anything I'm doing wrong, anything you see that could be an improvement on this, let me know, okay? We're all in here to try to keep this old equipment alive. So y'all have a good day, and there will be another video, hopefully in another couple of weeks. Goodbye.